of Politically Incorrect, Bill Maher!
All righty, thank you very much. Let us spin our and I love this record, too. She used to work for Phil Graham. Now she's the driving force behind Parents Against Clinton. Cindy Mausteller. Cindy. Nice to see you again, Cindy. Oh, of course. His book is locked in the cabinet, now available in paperback at prices you can afford. The 22nd Secretary of Labor, Robert Reich. Mr. Secretary, always a pleasure. Thank you. He is on the cover. This is the album I just dropped on the floor, and I shouldn't, because, you know, when I was a kid, they called these records. However you put it out, this is a great one. He's on the cover of Rolling Stone. This is the bomb. Mechanical Animals, Marilyn Manson, right over here. Sarah? And she is an actress, model, and cultural icon. Her new syndicated action show is VIP. I was on it. Pamela Anderson Lee, right over here. Hello. I'm all right. How you doing?
Welcome.
Okay. Well, I want to get we have some crazy people here today, obviously. No, yeah, take your shoes off.
It's like on the Jerry Springer show. You ever watch Gonna Throw That Smile.
Oh, God. Anything else that feels good for you to take off, just go right ahead. I want everyone to be comfortable. I want to talk about this Ross Perot. He was on Larry King the other night, and he was talking about Clinton, and thank God Ross Perot finally came out on Clinton. And he came back and back and back to the subject of drugs. Let me quote. He said, talking about Clinton, he said, "We have got erratic behavior by the president. All right, either he's got mental troubles or he does something like take drugs to spin him out from time to time."
Viagra. Viagra. That's the problem. That's the problem. Clinton's been on Viagra all these years.
Because he's got an erection.
You know, Ross Perot is he is a kook. He's a certified kook. He's a pleasant kook, but he's too short.
These boots maybe might.
You're right.
That's what he needs.
You know, Mr. Secretary, those boots on you, I think.
Would really give him a platform.
A personal question.
Is it about drugs?
What planet are you from?
Oh.
No, that's not.
Come on.
California.
You really
California. Could be any worse.
But it does sound like somebody's mom, you know, like, hey, he's acting weird. It must be drugs.
My parents used to say that about me all the time.
That you're on drugs?
My parents said it about me, but it's absolutely true. Actually, when I was in high school, I used to steal my mom's diuretic pills, like speed, you know, and I would sell them. I'd sell them at Christian school, and that's one of the reasons.
Or you could.
But what is a drug? What is a drug? Seriously, how do we define? How do we define drugs?
Exactly.
It's a loose term. It's a loose term.
That's part of my point. Isn't everybody on a drug of some kind?
No.
No?
No.
You don't do caffeine? You never have a cup of coffee?
I generally drink decaf coffee, but I mean, I don't know if you'd call that a drug. You call that some type of stimulant.
Since people get buzzed, I would.
Sugar, I mean, fruit. Taking a fruit, it's all kinds of...
In our society, we no longer know any stimulant and any drug. I mean, the line between it is very, very blurred, isn't it?
Also, it's popular opinion. You know, something that was illegal years ago is legal now. You know, everyone believed the planet was flat, and now, you know, it's, you know, we have a different...
Cocaine used to be in Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
You know? Things... What?
That was the secret formula that was revealed?
That's called classic
That had something
Coke.
to do with why that's why Michael Jackson's hair caught on fire, because he went against the drug gods and he was burned. I stand by Coke, you know. In fact, my outfit was an homage to Coca-Cola.
It is great.
And cocaine as well.
That is a
combo.
So you think drugs cause Clinton's behavior? Do you think drugs cause Clinton's behavior?
Of course not. I'm saying Ross Perot is saying these things. Is there anyone who is more nuts than Ross Perot, and he's not on drugs? Doesn't that tell you something?
Wait a minute. Do you know he's not on drugs?
No, I don't. But from the way he spoke, he wanted Clinton to take an oath. And he said he would take the same oath and risk 20 years of jail, which is probably not a good idea. He said, you have to take responsibility for your own actions in a free society. Now, if it was truly a free society, shouldn't we be able to do whatever as adults we want to do in our mind?
No, because because we don't live on an island. You were talking about libertarianism, and I think that would be great if you lived on an island. But the fact is that we live in a society, and choices that I make can impact you.
Can.
Yes, can.
No, but I think that's the issue.
Yes.
If they don't, in other words, if it's really only you, if you are an adult and you are not in any way affecting anybody else by your decisions, shouldn't you be permitted to do what you want to do?
It depends on what it is.
Hey.
See?
I thought that was going to be your line.
Well, I think drugs.
Go, Mr.
Drugs
Secretary.
also, I think drugs can also work as a bit of social Darwinism. It kind of weeds out the. A lot of people that abuse drugs make the people that use them look bad.
I've been.
You know.
And I try and look my best.
You ought to be in a public service commercial making that point.
What is it that your mother
good-
thought you were on drugs for?
Oh, they just always used to think I was on drugs. Anything I ever did, I was like, she's on drugs. I know she's on drugs. Carol, I know she's on drugs. Just, I don't know why. That
But
was
you
just like
never
the solution
were.
to everything. No, not at that point. Not at that time.
Go on.
No, I mean, well.
Anything can control you. Drugs. That's the easiest thing. But television, the internet, religion, obviously.
Those things don't lower your resistances to doing bad things.
Sure they do.
I have friends that sit
Are
on
you
the parole
kidding?
board.
The internet?
Religion?
Well, no.
Religion?
There are other people that threaten me over religion.
Unless you move into like porn on the internet and things like that. But I'm saying a
Porn
drug
doesn't hurt you.
A drug could lower. Now there's a real. I would really take issue with that.
How do you define drugs? Sarah, how do you define drugs? What is
Well, I mean, I would kind of look to the law to give me some type of legal definition, but I think this whole thing's going to continue. And you take enough aspirin, and you might be it. You take enough Tylenol, it's going to impact you. I think we should always look to consider should it be revised.
We can't look. I mean, the law is what we create. The law is what we want, and the question is what we think should be the limit.
But I think we made decisions that there are certain substances that do have a significant enough impact on us to impact our behavior in negative ways.
You know why it won't work? Because, simple example, sea monkeys, for example. They're not against the law. But I've taken those and I've given them to people as drugs. And it's messed them up.
They eat them? What do they do with them?
They snorted them.
They
snorted the sea monkeys.
Wait a minute. Do the animal rights people know about this?
Well, they weren't alive.
Oh,
it's a little
Dead sea
dust,
monkeys.
and you put it in the water, and they grow.
They
But
grow.
I said, look, it's going to grow inside your brain. You're going to experience new things. And they said, sure. It's not illegal, but I think it's wrong. I should be punished for it.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back to this in just a second.
You're planning to be in the Los Angeles area and would like free tickets to Politically Incorrect? Call 323-575-4321.
All right, the other big news story that was front page news, certainly out here, because Pete Wilson, our governor, signed it into law today. They are calling it the Stockerazzi Law, and it has been, I know you're probably for
I'm
it.
very happy about that.
Right.
That's
Well, let me just quote it. It's to curb celebrities from being chased, rather photographers from chasing celebrities, from, quote, if they're engaging in a personal or family activity in circumstances where they have a reasonable expectation of privacy. That's what the law says. You can no longer get into their private life. And what do you think?
Through the use of high technology, the lens. Is that what you're talking about?
That's a lot of it, yes.
Yeah.
You can't have Brad Pitt's penis anymore.
Listen, excuse me,
I
don't
guess you
repeat
could,
that.
but,
Don't repeat.
yeah.
I think if you're standing on legal ground, that you should be able to use any legitimate technology to look a distance. I do.
No. If somebody is in their house, or they're in a place where they have any assumption of privacy, they ought to be private. Everybody is entitled to some privacy. If they go into a hotel or they go into a restaurant, that's different. Then they've given away their right to privacy.
But not in the hotel room.
Not in a hotel room.
Well, that's
no,
where they
hotel lobby.
That's where they got Frank Gifford. In the hotel room.
And that's not
Or
right.
the Oval Office.
It's not the Oval Office.
Right.
That's
right.
It always comes back to the Oval Office. Everything.
And the word oval is so important.
Is that right?
What do you mean?
What do you think I mean?
I don't know, but you look at me with those red eyes, I feel like I'm suddenly under your
You've
spell.
done something wrong. You know what? I've had so much of that myself that I'm used to it, and I don't really expect people to leave me alone. So when I'm at home, you know, I'm taking a bath, I make sure I'm wearing like a pink gorilla costume with a big penis on it. So I try and entertain him, you know. You can't really get rid of him.
But you have
I got some kids come to my door yesterday, and, you know, we told them that Lionel Richie lived there, so I thought that would kind of distract them.
But that's a very big attitude you have about it, but other members of our panel may have had their privacy invaded.
Like who? No. I mean, it's crazy when they run you off the road. I've all sorts of things when I was pregnant and with my 2 kids, and they've almost run over other children to try and get to me. I mean, it's really dangerous. I mean,
well, you had a video stolen. I mean, what was done to her, I think, is a crime. I certainly think it's wrong what was done to her.
And you don't think it would be a crime if someone is in the privacy of their own home and someone has a telephotic lens and they get you in your home?
Absolutely.
I think if you're out in the yard, if you're outside,
I don't...
What law?
There are peeping Tom laws. I mean, how can you say that?
No, I'm not saying inside your house. I'm saying if you're out in the yard having a barbecue or by a pool and somebody can stand on a public street and use...
If you have an outhouse
celebrities
and you're
are
taking a
basically
crap.
under... What?
What if you have an outhouse in your backyard? Some people do.
Not in South Carolina anymore.
So you're saying celebrities have to be under house arrest? In other words, they can stay inside
no,
and then they're
here's
okay.
a celebrity who seems to be able to handle that.
Well, he's lucky. And he's also a bit of an exhibitionist.
Well, I'm an exhibitionist too, but...
Yeah.
But I mean, what principle are we upholding by allowing this? Why is that something we should stick by, that we allow?
As a woman, I've been in a lot of fearful situations where people jump out of bushes. You know, I've been trying to get in my car, and you know, if a guy didn't have a camera hanging around his neck, then it would be, you know, he'd be a stalker. But since he has a camera, you know, he's allowed to do these things and chase me around, and it's been really scary. And
you know what it really is? It's George Orwell. And it's not Big Brother, it's Little Brother. It's lots of little brothers. And it's with the internet, and you know, it started with like Rodney King. Everybody around you is contributing to, you know, the watching of yourself.
And it's not just, I mean, it's not just celebrities, it's
thing.
privacy. Privacy in general is under assault in this country. I mean, people can get your credit card numbers, they can go into your internet. You know, there have to be very strict privacy laws.
And that is certainly the situation you have with your ex-boss. I mean, the basic argument comes down to, okay, he may have lied. He seems to be a little bit slippery.
I tell you this, in the name
and he definitely had sex, but is that more of a threat to the Republic than the invasion of privacy which has produced?
I tell you what's a threat to the Republic is a president who, I think he should resign because of what he did sexually in the Oval Office.
Thank you so much.
But I think he should go through the impeachment process because of the high disregard for the law that he has displayed and how he's gone through this process.
There's no law against oral sex.
No,
I know
I'm talking about...
I know that upsets you.
If I can assert,
in fact,
when it comes to oral sex,
it leaves
and
a
I
bad
know
taste
because
in
I'm an expert on the oral sex.
I've read that on.
I have a chapter in my book, and it clearly states, and I wish Clinton would have held it up, you know, when he was on TV and said that oral sex is like handshakes and autographs. When you're a celebrity, it's part of your job.
All right, we'll take
The only part I can't agree with is the cigarette.
All right, well, whenever we have our former Secretary of Labor here, we'd like to do a labor issue. There is one in the news this week. It is about a department store Santa. Actually, she was working at a Walmart. I didn't know Walmart had Santas, but they have everything else. Right. But a female, okay? A female working as Santa Claus, and they let her go because basically they said, look, Santa's a guy, he's married to Mrs. Claus, and the elves like it that way.
Right. That's right.
And she sued because she said it's wrong and discriminating to disqualify me just because I am a female Santa. And
listen, I think if you're Benji's lawyers, you don't have a right to sue Walt Disney because he didn't get the lead in That Darn Cat. That's just kind of how I see it.
I think it's more of not a woman issue, but a breast issue. Because Walmart won't carry my CD because I have breasts.
Right.
And I think Santa deserves to have breasts. Santa can give toys to kids. Santa can have breasts.
It depends on the purpose of Santa. I mean...
Well, if I want to sit on Santa's lap, I want to squeeze some breasts.
Pam wants to...
What did you used to get for Christmas?
I mean, it depends on
a
who
coal
Santa
in my stocking.
Walmart, if anybody has a deep voice and can dress up like Santa. If it is a woman or if it is a man, it doesn't matter. They ought to be permitted to be Santa.
And if a woman has a beard, she should be able to have these Santa.
Absolutely.
Drag. Let's
Absolutely.
drag. Santa and drag. It's fine.
Or if a woman is with a beard. You know.
But you know what? I think an employee should have the freedom to say, listen, Santa's generally a man, and I should have that freedom to have him.
I agree with you.
An employer,
Cindy.
excuse me.
I really
an employer.
do.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know why in this day and age everybody has to do everything.
Right.
That's true.
You know?
That's right.
Short
can sue
people can't be
anybody for
basketball
anything.
players. I'm sorry.
White men can't jump.
You're that's very, very close. I think there ought to be a separate league. And also, it may be that a department store wants to have a female Santa, and it may be that people want to sit on her lap.
But Santa,
and that's perfectly
And
okay.
then also, then they're going to start, you know, if he's a Jewish Santa, he has to be circumcised. It's going to get very complicated.
It's gonna get
but Santa doesn't have breasts, you know, and I think it would confuse.
Why not? He's kind of fat. You know, think about it. Like,
I don't
what
know what
about
you're
men?
talking
If men's breasts get to a certain size, should that be considered sexual? Like if a big fat guy has big breasts?
I know some men with breasts.
Because what about the guy that got breast implants? I bet he can't walk around topless.
You're a
But he could
provocative
be-
person.
he could be-
Yeah, so what's with
He
that?
could be Santa.
He could be
But he
Santa,
could be
see?
Santa, even though he had.
Maybe you have to
Well,
have
what do you
male
think, Pamela?
genitalia to be Santa. The
I
breasts
think
are
I
irrelevant, but
believe
maybe
in
you
that.
have to have a penis to be Santa.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, that's fair. Because
That is
otherwise,
not, no, that is
have
not a
penis
bona
that can be
fide
Santa.
occupational qualification.
What?
Would you like to be Santa?
No. Mrs. Claus. I'll be
But-
Mrs. Claus.
I'll be Santa.
Yeah. All right. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
Join us Friday when our guests will be Cheryl Lee Ralph, Charles Shaughnessy, Adam Goldberg, and Laura Ingram.
All right, since again we have one of the Clinton cabinet members here, let me ask you, let me go back to Ross Perot for a second. Let me read one of his other quotes. He said, I think it's totally disgusting that you'd take advantage of a vulnerable young woman and just manipulate her and use her like a toy. That's his estimation of what Clinton and Monica, I see you nodding.
Yeah, that's true.
Why did he manipulate her? She showed him her butt thong.
Well, yeah, she says she shows him this, which is wrong of her. He goes, hell, you got on thong underwear? Meet me in my office at 10 o'clock. By the way, what's your name? That's the kind of man we've got as the president
Oh,
of
now,
the
come on,
United
come
States.
on.
I
This
think that
is-
if a
this
girl
is
wants to be
absurd.
Santa or she wants to be a humidor, a girl should be able to do what she wants to do.
Wait a minute. This is a time in American history when we have India and Pakistan have the bomb, Russia's imploding, Japan is going down the tubes, 1 in 5 American kids are in poverty, and we as a nation are obsessing about presidential
Well,
sex.
that's the whole nation. The whole nation, most of the nation wants it to go away. Isn't that true? 70% of Americans want him to continue in office and this to end.
But
so
it's
don't
not
think
ending.
we as a
It is
nation.
not
It's not
ending.
gonna end
It just
either.
keeps
It's
on
because
going.
of people
end.
like you, it's not
No,
going to end.